Good afternoon. Y'all do better than that. My students know why they're here. Parents, you're here for the 2018 D.A.R.E graduation ceremony. As we begin, I want to take just a few minutes to make note and to recognize some people that are instrumental in the D.A.R.E program here at the Brewton Middle School. All the faculty and staff here, my teachers, Ron Adams, Ms. Vicki Madden, our principal, Ms. Madeline Cave, Assistant Principal Leah Fuquay, Ms. Cole, our counselor, and also the Brewton City Board of Education, because without them giving their approval, letting us come into the school system, we couldn't do this program. Dr. Varner also, to him, thank you. Brewton Police Department, my chief, Monty McGugan, we're real busy today. We've got a lot of things going on out on patrol in the streets today, and investigators are out, so that's why we've got a lot of officers not here today. They're going to try to get with us before the program's over, but first and foremost priority is to take care of the streets and make sure everybody's safe and protected. To my dear mentors, a lot of you fifth graders may know some of these. Joshua Jolly, Daisy Canty, and Tori Knapp, they're here. Every year we have some mentors come in. This year we weren't able to have the mentors come in to speak to you guys and girls. That's usually what we do. They can tell you a little bit about their experience with D.A.R.E. It didn't happen this year, so I apologize, but we'll get back on track next year. Everybody knows me in the fifth grade. I'm Officer Heath Madison. I've been with the D.A.R.E program here for about 6 years now. I've been with the department almost 10 years. About 7 years ago, I had the privilege of being contacted by my captain, Brewton, Assistant Chief Randy Nicholson, about possibly taking over the D.A.R.E program because Captain Brewton was retiring. He did the program for about 21 years, so I've got some big shoes to fill, and I'm just starting. So when they approached me, I thought it was a great idea. I love to work with youth, and my big thing is I want to impart some knowledge that I may have dealing with things like drugs and alcohol, bullying and violence, and hopefully that will rub off on some of you guys, and you can utilize these things we taught this year in the D.A.R.E program. The D.A.R.E program started in 1983 at the Los Angeles Police Department. Their chief at the time was Daryl Gates, and Chief Gates saw that there was a need to implement a program for combating the violence that was happening in Los Angeles County, also in the drug and the alcohol that was flooding into the school systems, through the gangs, into our students' hands. And like I said, they were dealing with a big gang problem, and that was one of the reasons that he wanted to implement this program, so that we can teach kids about the harmful effects of drugs and alcohol. When he developed the program, he started out as a 10-week program, and they would go week for week, and in about a month and a half they'd be finished. We stretch it out over the course of a full school year. And now when I came up in the school system here in Brewton City School System in the 70s and 80s and early 90s, the most that probably we worried about was alcohol abuse or alcohol use. But you can tell nowadays that if you watch on TV, you watch the news, there's a lot more that these kids have to deal with than just alcohol trouble. Drugs, violence, bullying, alcohol abuse, all that's prevalent. The first thing that we do in D.A.R.E is we teach the kids about our D.A.R.E decision-making model. What that is first of all, we help them define whether it's a problem, a challenge, or opportunity, and then we teach them how to make a choice. What are my choices? And then once they make a choice, we look back and we evaluate that choice, and we see if we made a good choice. And that's a big thing. I tell these kids that during my daily routine, I walk around on patrol and I keep a little notebook in my pocket so I can write down things that when I come in contact with a person, if I have a wreck after work or domestic violence, and I keep track of people's names, telephone numbers, and things like that, so I can go back later and I can write my report and figure out what I need to do. Well, obviously, these kids aren't going to walk around with a notebook in their pocket, and when somebody approaches them with drugs, they're not going to take out the notebook and say, should I do drugs? They're not going to do that. So we teach them and give them the tools that they need to try to make that decision in their mind as soon as possible. Sometimes they're faced with challenges where they feel like they can't get away from the problem. We do things called resistance strategies, and those strategies are things like walking away, being safety in numbers. I've taught them that, hey, it's a lot easier to tell somebody no or to resist drugs if you're in a group of your friends and they're also saying no. When you're by yourself, it's a little bit harder. So we try to teach them to avoid the situation altogether. I tell all my students that being kind is one of the best things you can do. When you do things for other people, or you be nice to other people, it comes back to you tenfold. Other than just drugs and alcohol, we also deal with bullying. We talked about that for about a 2-week study this year, back in February. And you can also see that in the headlines today. A lot of kids are being bullied at school because of things they wear, what they don't wear, because they won't do this drug or they won't do that drug. So we try to teach them about the harmful effects of that. Also, it never benefits a student to bully another one, and that's the kind of behavior that we're not going to tolerate here at the school. One area also that I challenge the students to always make is to have good, safe, and responsible choices. I think each one of them will tell you, if you ask them, after every class when I leave, I tell them, hey, the weekend's coming up because we teach on Thursdays, and I say, please make good, safe, responsible choices, because I want to see you back here next week. I wanted the students to make good decisions, and I wanted them to always practice safety in whatever they do. One requirement that all D.A.R.E students must meet is they have to write a D.A.R.E report each year at the end of the school year, and it's entitled What They Learned in D.A.R.E. I will say that I've always had good reports, but this year I've had a little over 100 students, where in the past I usually have anywhere from 75 to 80, so I've had another class I've had to take on. So to say that I have all respect for a school teacher, I mean, it's just to a new level. If I had to prepare a school lesson or a class lesson for 5 days a week, I would probably go crazy. But I've had some comical reports this year. They've injected some humor into their reports, so that was always good to see that. Each year we take time to recognize 4 of our students. In no way am I saying that these 4 students are the best ones. We do recognize 4 each year. Everyone here participated, and we thank you for that. There were some great reports, and we had to choose 4 out of 100 and some students. I read through them. I had other officers read through them. I didn't even pick these myself. I figured, well, it's probably good that I don't, because I probably should show some biased ideas. So we've got some students up here that were chosen from other police officers. We will recognize Logan Pettis, Claire Smith, Kennedy Atkinson, and Peyton Golden. And what we don't tell them that they just found out, and I think they're a little bit nervous about, is that they're required to get up here and read their report to you. One of them, she asked me if she could just read about half of her report. I won't tell you who that was, but no particular order. Anybody want to go first? Nobody. I'm going to call Peyton up here first. Peyton's going to break the ice for us, and believe me, she may convince you that she's shy and don't want to talk, but I know otherwise because I've had her in class all year. So just go ahead and read your report, and then we'll move along the line. Okay? Peyton, go ahead. Yes.
I'm going to tell you what I learned in D.A.R.E. In D.A.R.E, I learned about decision-making models. I also learned about ways to communicate. D.A.R.E taught me a lot of things I really never knew, like smoking could cause lung cancer, 2 health effects of alcohol are slow reflexes and loss of self-control. Chewing tobacco can cause mouth cancer, tooth loss, and other health problems. I've learned how to solve problems to people who have been peer pressured or is going through it right now. Something like this. Yoko is shopping for clothes with her mother. Yoko and her mom are looking at clothes when they see the popular girls from school. The girls say, when are you ever going to grow up? Come with us. Yoko really wants to go with the girls. What should she do? I said she should let the girls come with her so they can shop all together for clothes. Define is to describe the problem, challenge, or opportunity. Assess is what are your choices. Respond is to make a choice. Use the facts and information you have gathered. Evaluate is to review your decision. Did you make a good choice? I also learned that alcohol slows down the brain and the body. The effects in alcohol you drink may include loss of coordination, poor judgment, memory loss of self-control, and slow reflex. That is what I learned in there.
Thank you, Peyton. Next. Claire, you want to go ahead and go? No? Kennedy? Oh, come on. Kennedy Action.
Today I'm going to talk about what I learned in there. First, I learned the dangers of alcohol. Did you know that it affects teens more than adults? And it also harms every organ in their body. It also causes 75,000 deaths per year. If you mix medicine and alcohol, it may kill you. Next, I learned about tobacco. There are more than 200 chemicals in a cigarette. Smoking causes lung cancer, dry skin, and wrinkles. There is an addictive substance in cigarettes called nicotine. Over 400,000 deaths are caused by cigarettes or cigarette smoke. 50,000 deaths each year are caused by nicotine. The tobacco in cigarettes turns your fingernails yellow and your teeth yellow. It also makes your breath smell bad. Smoking causes cancer and teeth loss. Resistance strategies are very important. They are strategies that you can use to achieve something bad. You see people doing drugs, stay away. If someone asks you to smoke, say no and walk away. If you do this, you will stay out of trouble. There is something that will come in handy at one point in life because you will have the chief action and you will have to pick the best one.
Are you ready? You want to go, Claire? Oh, now she wants to go. Okay. Claire Smith.
I'm going to tell you some things I've learned in D.A.R.E. I've learned some things about alcohol. It is illegal for anyone under 21 years of age. There are 75,000 people dying every year in the U.S. It slows down your brain, your body, and slow reflexes, and also causes memory loss. I've also learned some things about tobacco. It is illegal to sell to anyone under 18. Some states is 19. And more than 400,000 Americans die from tobacco each year. We have been learning way more than drugs. We've been learning about making safe and responsible choices. If you're smoking with friends and scared you're going to get caught, go ahead and quit doing it because you shouldn't have done it in the first place. These were some things I've learned in D.A.R.E. And I want to thank Officer Madison for teaching me not to do some things I've learned.
And our final essay to be recognized, essay winner to be recognized is Logan Pettit.
I learned a lot of things in D.A.R.E. this year, like how to be safe, responsible, and smart. I learned about resistance strategies and making good decisions. Have you ever been in a D.A.R.E. class? Well, I'll tell you what I learned in D.A.R.E. I learned what D.A.R.E. stands for. The D stands for define, the A stands for assess, and the R stands for respond, and the E stands for evaluate. When you have to make a decision, you go through the letters of D.A.R.E. It's called the D.A.R.E. decision-making model. I learned how to be confident when asking for help or saying no to someone. I've used the things I've learned in D.A.R.E. a lot. I've used what I've learned to help me make smart choices and do the right thing. I've also used it to help me help others. I will use what I've learned for the rest of my life. I will use what I learned in D.A.R.E. in the future to help others make good decisions. In conclusion, D.A.R.E. has taught me a lot. I think D.A.R.E. is a good thing to teach because it will help kids be safe. The things I learned in D.A.R.E. will keep me safe, responsible, and smart.
Thank all of you and all of you students that participated. Like I said, there were really good D.A.R.E. reports. I couldn't have chosen just 4, I'd have to choose all 100 because they were all really good. So moving right along, introduction. We always have a guest speaker each year to come and speak to the students, and I'm going to do my best to get through this. Our guest speaker was elected in 2006 to the Alabama State House of Representatives. He was born in Brewton. He graduated from Alabama High School. He received an associate degree from the East Central Community College in Decatur, Mississippi, and he received his Bachelor's of Science degree from Auburn University. He majored in history with a minor in political science, which is evident in him going into the political realm. For 27 years, he devoted himself to public education as a teacher and a coach. Phoenix City, Alabama, moved back to Brewton, Alabama, which is where I first met him as a teacher and a coach, a history teacher in the Brewton City school system. He served as a defensive coordinator at Alabama High School, football team, and also as a track coach, where during the time he was coach, they won 10 different championships, state, track, and football combined, which is a feat in itself. And in 2008, he was inducted into the Alabama High School Athletic Association Sports Hall of Fame. In 2005, he retired from the public school system, and he dedicates all of his full-time energy as a member of the House of Representatives of the state of Alabama, working tirelessly to provide accessible legislative service for all of his constituents in Baldwin and Escambia County for District 66, and that includes 7 different municipalities. Serves on the board of directors for the American Red Cross, the Brewton Area YMCA, Escambia Habitat for Humanity, and also the Child Advocacy Center. He's a member of the Escambia County Retired Educators Association and has previously served as a member of the Brewton Kiwanis Club. Married to Khaki Baker, his high school sweetheart, and who is also a retired teacher and a realtor. They both attend First Baptist Church. Maybe some of you know him. I get to see him play drums sometimes. Very talented musically, playing in the praise band there at the church. And shortly after he was elected to the House, he joined what they call the House Band, and I believe it's made up of a group of different politicians that share their musical talents. And they play at different legislative functions and also at the annual Governor's Christmas Ball. He was a teacher, coach of mine. I'm honored to know him and that he took time out of his busy schedule to be with us here today. Would you please welcome our state representative, Alan Baker.
Good afternoon. Okay, that's better, good. I was hopeful there would be some type of response there. I think some of you sort of connected a little bit there afterwards, a little pause. I am very thrilled, excited to be with you today. I see actually it's just so gratifying to me to be back here in the midst of the school setting, to be among students, and as well as much so even those who are now former students. As I look out here among the group here assembled, I see several adult teachers, parents, Rodney over there against the wall as well. But anyway, just a strong privilege of mine to have been blessed with the opportunity to have been an educator and to have those that enrich my life in some very special ways. And now, as adult community leaders, I've not known exactly who all would be here as part of this program, that is of the adults, but the 3 that I was aware that were going to be here. So I'm going to ask these 3 to somewhat come and stand behind me very quickly. Chief Monty McGugan, he'll stand behind me. Then Principal Madeline Cade. Then Officer Heath Madison. Of course, there are others I've already recognized, a little bit here scattered here in this group, but all 3 of these, then I had the pleasure then to have been a part of their lives, and as a teacher and also as a coach of the after-school activities as a coach. But all of these are upstanding, outstanding community leaders in their own right. serving as role models in so many significant ways in what they provide for the communities, and as much so even their respective families. And of course, there's others here in this midst as well, so I applaud each of you in what you provide to this community. Thank you so much. Now, I think the program that I'm going to mention, TV program, I think it's no longer on the airwaves, or at best, I don't get to do a lot of television watching. Most of mine now becomes more so the news events and such when I do get a chance to be around the TV. But there was a program that was called Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? Any of you remember that television program? Some do, some don't? Okay. Are you smarter than a fifth grader? Yeah. I think it was hosted by a country comedian, Jeff Foxworthy, I think, that did somewhat the hosting of that show. But Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? So part of what I want to maybe share with you today, as a supposedly smart fifth grader, that you've attained this level as a fifth grader, hopefully you'll be making some smart choices, some smart decisions in your life in the various situations with which you are confronted. The D.A.R.E program is a very significant, outstanding program of which I've been aware has been in existence now for several years. I applaud Chief McGugan and also Officer Madison, and then the others of the Brewton Police Force that also serve in varying capacities as well, to be a part of this program, which is geared towards you. This is all about you, making some smart choices, some smart decisions, and those decisions do have consequences. Some of what, now actually with the acronym, the D.A.R.E program, but I want to use the actual word dare. Have you ever been dared to do, you were dared to do something? Maybe by a friend, I dare you to do this. What about, have you ever had a double dog dare you? Okay, so that's really serious. It gets to be double dog dare, it's really serious. I love around Christmas time. I said I don't get to do much television watching, but they have that movie, A Christmas Story. It's got Ralphie and the Red Ryder BB gun. Oh, none of you have seen that. It's around Christmas time. Oh, and Ralphie's friend, some of his friends issue a double dog dare asking him to stick his tongue out and touch the flagpole. And it's a very cold day. Sub-freezing temperatures that day, and he sticks his tongue to the flagpole and it sticks. Yeah, that was a double dog dare. It was a real serious dare that his friends had challenged him, and he took the dare. Of course, he got his tongue stuck there. But anyway, I'm using that because I want you to understand that there are things that will not necessarily always have the word dare involved by your friends, but they will at times pressure you or try to challenge you to do something that you don't feel comfortable in doing. You have that sort of that inner guide within you that is a conscience. You just don't feel right about that. You feel like, I don't feel good about that. But there's pressure for you maybe to try to give in and go ahead and do that dare or that challenge. They may not actually use the word dare always, but it still is somewhat of a dare for you. Dares can be either positive or they can be negative. And some of what I want to speak out at this time would be some of those that are somewhat the negative dares, the things where you're challenged maybe to do some things that you're not very comfortable with. I want to just, it seems, as being that we're in a school setting, I guess I'm going to use sort of some science a little bit here, throw that in real quick. Any of you aware that in our 50th state, Hawaii, that they have somewhat some volcanic flow going on, some eruptions, the lava flow? Some of you aware, some of you not aware? Okay, some of you are aware, okay. Well, that's supposedly our inner core of the earth is composed of magma. Once again, a science term, magma. That inner part of our earth, the core being magma. I see some of you looking up there maybe to Miss Adams. Teach science. Oh, okay, well, there, okay. Another, okay. I just saw the direction, okay, some science going on. So anyway, that's the inner core, supposedly, of the earth, is magma, hot molten lava. Well, what I want to speak to you about a little bit is about your inner core, what's within you. And there are really four main things that are a part of what seems to shape one's, that is, your inner core. One of those would be your values. Another would be your attitude. Another would be your faith. And then a final would be your character. Sometimes there are those who want to think that their lives are just sort of floating around and they really don't have control over their life. There's other factors that surround them that actually, it's sort of like it's their fate. They really don't have control. Oh, that's so wrong. You have the personal power within yourself to make some choices, some decisions that have consequences that affect the outcome of your life. So please don't make excuses or try to have as crutches in your life those shortcomings or those things. Maybe you sometimes look around and think, well, I haven't got this, somebody else has more of that. But it's all about your attitude. That's a part of that inner core within you, where you make some choices and decisions that you will overcome any of those difficult, tough challenges in life. I want to use any fishing people in here, fishermen, fisherwomen? Oh, okay, good. We've got some fishing. Allow me just one moment. I had to sort of wrap it a little bit so I didn't. Oh, I heard somebody say, what is this? Anybody say? Oh, is it loud? Oh, okay, I heard the term. Okay, correct. Lure. Okay, so it's not live. It's an artificial lure made to look like a fish. Okay, made to look like a fish. Oh, it even spins, a little shiny right here. Yeah, pretty colorful. Well, I want to use this as an example. To a fish, this is something that looks very, very attractive. Something they might want to reach out and grab, be a part of that. Very glitzy, shine's got a little spinner right there. Oh, but what I didn't really mention is, look underneath. Yeah, it's got some hooks in it. Well, that's a lot like life. There's some things where you're going to be challenged with some tough decisions in life where it looks really good. It looks exciting. It looks glitzy. Oh, it looks like it's something you want to be a part of and do. But yet after you actually make a bad choice or a poor decision, it's got the hooks on the underside that have some bad consequences. It's not good. And so I really want to challenge you in some ways to try to be careful, be very mindful. You've got a lot of people that are investing in your lives, a number of these being parents that are here today, the administrators, you've got the teachers here, you've got the police department, the chief, as well as other officers here. So many people that care about you, they love you, and they want to see you make some wise, tough choices, because they're not going to always be around when those tough times confront you. So you're going to have to be bold to make some tough choice decisions. So let me sort of conclude and finish some things with, I mentioned that D.A.R.E, the word D.A.R.E, they can be negative or D.A.R.Es can be positive. On the positive side, so these are some positive D.A.R.Es that I want to challenge you with today. I dare you to do the right thing in making tough, right choices when being pressured otherwise to make poor decisions. I dare you to set a positive course for your life, which means making some tough choices to avoid such situations that go against your plan for your life. I dare you to align yourself with the friends who can stand strong in making smart choices that lead to successful outcomes. I double dog dare you to be a positive leader that is willing to stand strong, to do the right thing, even when it is not popular. I dare you to make this day a better day for someone else by a thoughtful word, good deed, or action. I'd like to conclude with a personal story because it actually helped shape my life in some very positive ways. And this goes back actually a couple of grade levels above what you are. I was actually in the 7th grade at the time, but I'm going to share this personal example. I was one, and growing up, I very much loved fitness, athletics, most any type of sport. I really just enjoyed those types of things, the outdoors. And I got involved with scouting, Boy Scouts of America. And so as I attended one of my first scouting opportunities, as I joined one of the local scout troops here in the Brewton area, and I was confronted with a situation that I didn't feel good about. Actually, as we went camping, and it was right here in the local area, actually at one of the local lakes that now is no longer available, it was at Camp Macmillan. And so as we were out at that camp that had been permitted for Boy Scout troops to be able to camp there, and so as we were there for our first day of camping, and then late afternoon as we were gathering some wood to get prepared for our campfire we would have later that night, and some of the guys that were part of that Boy Scout troop, we were a little bit away from the adult scoutmasters that were part of that group, so we were sort of off by ourselves, just the boys, not too far away, but we were out there sort of a little bit into the woods. And then some of the older guys, a few grades ahead of me, they began to pull out their cigarettes. Well, that was I'd been more in settings that a little bit more had my parents around or others around, so that was my first really push, being challenged. Come on, Baker. Of course, that being my last name, Alan Baker. Come on, Baker, you need to take a few puffs. We were away from the adults. There we were, in the edge of the woods somewhat, where the scoutmasters weren't aware of what was going on, and there they were, trying to get me to smoke. I'd never even tried a cigarette. Well, I knew that wasn't for me. I so much enjoyed and wanted. At that time, they didn't have the sports at the junior high levels, middle school grades, so I was so looking forward to the time once I did get to be at high school, that sports was something I knew I wanted to do. Smoking wasn't something that aligned with what I wanted to do and be good for me or my body. But with that little bit of pressure, then I felt there was an outlet, so I did something I actually regret a little bit now. I did go ahead and take a cigarette, as one of them was really trying to, not just one of them, but several of them trying to force me to go ahead and take that puff, knowing that I had not ever tried it before. I took one puff and then put it down and began to cough. That wasn't for me. But I knew I wasn't going to really pursue it any further. I regret that I even tried that little puff. But that did allow me to take a bold position at that point, not just for smoking cigarettes, but so many other things, whether we're talking about drugs, substance abuse, alcohol, a lot of different things that I knew would be contrary, would go against what I wanted for my life. So each of you probably have some plans, is like some things that you would want to be a part of, whether it be sports, whether it be music, whether it be other avenues of life, and it goes contrary to what you want to become, what you want to be, that plan for your life. And so I strongly urge you, be bold, make those tough choices, those decisions, as that was something that I'm glad I made that choice. Thereafter, I did not have to make that decision again. It's where my friends knew where I stood. That was where I was going to be. And so that made my path from that point on much easier in life. So I challenge you, be bold, make those tough choices in life. Try to avoid the hooks. A lot of things that are very shiny, glitzy, that look like something you might want to do or be a part of, yet there's hooks underneath. Congratulations on this graduation from the D.A.R.E program. I love you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you again, Representative Baker. At this time, Ms. Cave is going to come up. She's going to help me to hand out the certificates. When she calls your name, you'll come forward. I'm going to have your certificate, and I'll hand it to you. And as soon as you do, you can rotate back around to the opposite end of where you came from and just filter back into where you were seated.
Grace Crawford. Langley Folsom. Layla Folsom. Copeland Glass. Lyric Hales. Kaylee Lindsay. Ashton Madden. Chad McCombs. Jacob McDonald. Hallie Pugh. Amori Smith. Tyler Smith. Bo Thomas. Landon Baggett. Kavarius Bell. Brianna Brown. Audrey Hall. John Robert Jernigan. If your row will stand, you're going to come out and then you'll go back in through the end. Callie Kent. Dominic Milligan. Jermaine Montgomery. Martina Raven. William Robinson. Caleb Russell. Destiny Schrock. Tajwan Stallworth. Taya Thomas. Gracie Talbert. Addison Turner. Kylie Walton. Brantley Woodson. Samantha Kane. Travell Culbreth. Riley Dewberry. Jamiria Dixon. Tyler Holmes. Sam Jordan. Jordan Kelly. Crystal Matthews. Monessa McMillan. Madison Patterson. Allison Reeves. Michaela Smith. Talon Smith. Azaria Spears. Haley Terrell. Riley Thomas. Aubrey Williams. Dacian Woodson. Braden Bacare. Lavarius Bell. Dallas Bomboy. Megan Bondurant. Ashton Chancery. Oh, how about Nathan Commander. Aubryon Dees. Miles Johnson. Matthew Kirkland. Braylon Lewis. Katie Madden. John Moore. Adriana Mourning. Allie Norsworthy. Breeley Richardson. Anicia Stallworth. Parker Thomas. Kenley Wilson. Casey Anthony. Kaylee Ard. Terrence Battle. James DeRitter. James Feely. Jenna Fountain. Emily Griner. Peyton Hardy. Brody Hayes. Jordan Jolly. Deasia Jones. David LaDuca. Allison Morgan. Ariana Mourning. Sohan Patel. Kaylee Patterson. Natasia Reed. Alyssa Rhodes. Maria Streety. Edie Walker. Logan Pettis. Claire Smith. Peyton Golden. Kennedy Atkinson.
I'm going to take just a few more minutes. I noticed that we had some extras come in. One of our other mentors, Todd Watson, is here with us, so yeah, I'll get you a shirt. I'm sure he still probably got his from 5th grade. I don't know. It don't fit anymore, does it? Yeah, your D.A.R.E shirt doesn't fit anymore. Definitely not. We had some other officers come in that I want to recognize. Officer Brenda Lane, she's our resource officer at the elementary school. I know a lot of you know her. She's a rock star over there is what I hear. Sergeant Andy Casey, we got Sergeant Stephen Ferguson and Officer Justin Hedrick. They all work in investigations and narcotics and things. They work kind of behind the scenes. Sometimes you don't see them out on the streets in the black and white cruisers like you see me, but they stay covered up busy, and I thank them for all they do. I've had a great year teaching all you guys and girls this year. Do me a favor, when you get to be a senior, please send me an invitation to your graduation. I would love to come and see what you guys and girls have done between now and then. I do want to leave you with one thing. Our Representative Baker has already stressed it, and that's always go out of your way to treat people nice and do for others just the way you'd have them doing to you. Because I will tell you this, as I've gotten older, I receive far more from trying to do something for somebody else than just somebody to walk up and give me something. I receive more satisfaction knowing that I was able to help somebody. I've been helped along the way in my life, and it always makes me feel great when I can turn around and in turn do that for somebody. And also, stay away from drugs and alcohol. They're killing families every day, I promise you. And at last, and certainly not least, I tell you this every Thursday, always make safe and responsible choices. And thank y'all for coming. This concludes our D.A.R.E graduation.